This is your practice A for section 1.3. We're going to look at numbers 15 through 18. They ask you to find the coordinates of a midpoint of a segment with the given endpoints. Anytime you want to find a midpoint, you should be thinking of one word, and that's average. You want to find a midpoint, you should be averaging your coordinates. That means add and divide by 2. So in number 15, you have point R and point S, and they tell you where they live. Remember, they each have an X, and a Y coordinate. Point M is a point in that coordinate plane that lives directly in between them. Where does it live? What are the coordinates? Well, you need to add your X's, 3 and 3. That gives you 6. 6 divided by 2, because we're averaging, gives you 3. And that shouldn't be a surprise. What is the average of a 3 and a 3? It's 3. Now average a 1 and a 7. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So if you were to plot these coordinates in a coordinate plane, the point that's directly in between them is this point, 3, 4. Okay, so we're going to name that midpoint. Notice how I didn't put M equals the coordinates. M is the name of the point. So the midpoint lives at 3, 4, X and Y, X, Y. Number 16, do the same thing. Let's find where that midpoint M lives. We're going to average a 2 and a 6. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Average of 4 and a 6. That's an easy one. That's a 5. I know that 5 is directly in between 4 and 6, so I didn't need to do any math at all. Keep your eyes open for those ones. It'll save you some time. Plus, it's good on a test. It'll save you some brain power. Once you use your brain a lot, maybe it doesn't function the same way. So anywhere you can kind of save time and conserve that brain energy, it's a good idea. 17 and 18, same kind of problems as these, only they're backwards. They're going to give you an endpoint, Y, and the midpoint. What you need to do is find the other endpoint. They're going to call it Z. So where does our other endpoint Z live? That's the question. And this might seem really, really difficult if there's no multiple choice or no coordinate plane. Well, I mean, you could plot these and make your own. It'd probably be easy to do. But here's the strategy. Up here, when we were going forwards, we were adding and then dividing by 2. Well, if you go backwards, you're going to get those endpoints. So what if we multiplied by 2 and then subtracted? Because that's what the opposite operation would be if you're going backwards. Multiply by 2 and then subtract. Okay, so take the value from your midpoint, your X value, it's 3, multiply that by 2, that gives you 6. Then take away 0. 6 minus 0 is 6. Guys, thanks. 3 times 2 is also 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. That point Z is the other endpoint. So here's Y, here's Z, that's the point that's in between. How do you know? Well, if you understood these examples, let's double check. 0 plus 6 is 6. 6 divided by 2, 3. 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 divided by 2, 3. So it looks good. It checks out. Now, I could show you the algebraic way, and maybe I did this in class already, but I think once you do a couple of these and you understand it's just going backwards, this is probably the best way to do it for most of us. Okay, same thing. You want to know where Z lives? Z's got an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. Double or multiply by 2 the X and the Y's for your midpoint. Okay, so 5 times 2 is 10. 10 minus -1. Positive 11. 9 times 2 is 18. 18 minus -3. It's positive 21. Maybe you're not sure about that. Maybe you're skeptical that that's the answer. Let's check it. What's the average of negative 1 and 11? Well, 11 minus 1 is 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so that looks good. Let's average a negative 3 and a 21. Okay, so 21 plus negative 3, that's 18. 18 divided by 2, that's 9. So it works out.